Have you ever felt the silence of someone you love? That silence that doesn't just sit in the room. It crawls into your heart, wraps itself around your ribs, and leaves you gasping? You give your love, you give your soul, and then suddenly, they're gone. They pull back. They withdraw into a world where you're not invited. But then, almost like clockwork, they reappear. They circle back. They come knocking again, sometimes quietly, sometimes desperately. And the question we whisper to ourselves is simple yet haunting. Why? Why do avoidants come back after pulling away? Today, we're going to dive deep into this mystery. Because when you understand the truth, you not only see them more clearly, you see yourself more powerfully. When an avoidant pulls away, we often believe it's because the love is gone. But that isn't true. Love doesn't just evaporate like dew in the sun. No, love is stubborn. Love is resilient. Love is like fire hidden beneath the ashes. It still glows, even if it looks invisible. For the avoidant, closeness feels risky. Love to them isn't a warm blanket. It's a flame that threatens to burn them. So they step back. They hide. They convince themselves that distance equals safety. But here's the truth. You cannot unlove someone who has touched your soul. You can distract yourself. You can bury the feelings. But eventually, those emotions rise like roots pushing through concrete. That's why they come back. Because no matter how far they run, the heart keeps whispering the same truth. You love them. You always did. As the poet Pablo Neruda once said, love is so short, forgetting is so long. For the avoidant, forgetting isn't possible. The feelings remain, hidden but alive, until they are drawn back to the one place that still feels like home, your heart. It's a paradox, isn't it? When you were there, giving your love, they pulled away. But when you stopped reaching, stopped chasing, stopped pouring your energy into them, suddenly, they noticed. Suddenly, your absence carried more weight than your presence ever did. This is the great truth about human connection. Sometimes we don't realize the depth of love until it's gone. The avoidant, who runs from closeness, finds that when you step back, the silence left behind is not peace, it is emptiness. That emptiness rattles them. It haunts them. It reminds them of what they had and what they could lose forever. And slowly, like water dripping on stone, that awareness carves its way into their heart until they can no longer ignore it. Your absence, in truth, becomes your power. Because nothing awakens an avoidant more than realizing that the person they took for granted is no longer standing at the door. As Rumi said, don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure. Your absence becomes their cure, the medicine that forces them to face what they truly want, you. Avoidants may retreat into shadows, but they are never blind to the light you gave them. They may pull back from intimacy, but they never forget the moments when you held them without judgment, when your love asked for nothing but their presence. They remember your laughter. They remember the warmth of your touch. They remember the way your voice softened the noise inside their mind. These aren't just memories, they're anchors. And anchors have a way of pulling people back, no matter how far they drift. Love doesn't need to be perfect to be unforgettable. Avoidants don't come back because you were flawless. They come back because your love carved a home inside them. They come back because even when fear chased them away, your light remained. Think about this. People don't come back for logic. They come back for feeling. And if you made them feel safe, alive, and seen in a world that often makes them feel unworthy, then your love becomes the magnet they cannot escape. In the heat of the moment, fear feels like fire. It consumes everything. To an avoidant, your closeness can feel like too much, too fast, too deep. They panic, they flee, they pull away. But time has a strange power. Time doesn't erase love, but it does cool fear. It waters the fire until the flames that once seemed unbearable are reduced to gentle embers. And suddenly, what once felt suffocating now feels like warmth. Distance gives perspective. When they're away from you, they realize the truth. It wasn't danger they were running from. It was intimacy. And intimacy, when filtered through time, begins to look less like a threat and more like a gift. So they come back. Because the fear that once screamed in their chest has quieted, and what remains is longing. And longing is powerful. Longing is the force that drives people back into the arms they once left behind. Pulling away isn't always just about you, it's about them. Sometimes an avoidant needs to step back, not to leave forever, but to face themselves. In the silence of distance, They are forced to confront the questions they avoid. Why do I run? Why does closeness scare me? Why do I push away the one person who loves me most? And while they may resist, while they may distract themselves, reflection eventually comes. The heart won't stay quiet forever. And when that inner voice whispers, "You're losing something precious," they begin to grow. Avoidants often come back because pulling away was their lesson. It wasn't about rejecting you. It was about discovering themselves. And when they return, they do so not only with longing, but with a deeper awareness that love isn't weakness, it's strength. Love, real love, doesn't disappear. It circles. It bends. It returns. You can throw it away. You can run from it. You can bury it under fear. But if it's real, it always finds its way back. Avoidance may leave with silence, with pride, with fear, but eventually, they are pulled back by the very force they tried to resist: love. Because love is magnetic. Love is eternal. Love is a boomerang. And when it returns, it carries the weight of every moment missed, every word unspoken, every night spent wondering if it was too late. That's why avoidants come back. Not because they're fickle, not because they're cruel, but because no matter how far they ran, love still had their name written on it. As someone once said, "What is meant for you will not pass you by." And that truth holds power. So if you've been left, if you've wondered why they pull away and why they return, hold this truth close. It's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their journey, their fears, their growth. Because sometimes, the heart needs distance to remember where it belongs. And more often than not, it belongs right where it started, with you. In the end, love is not about who leaves, it's about who finds their way back. Thank you for spending this time with me, for opening your heart, and letting these words find a home within you. If you've ever felt the sting of someone pulling away, know this: you are not alone, and your love is never wasted. Every tear, every moment of longing, every unanswered question, it all shapes you into someone stronger, someone deeper, someone capable of loving with even more courage. So, from my heart to yours, thank you for listening, thank you for feeling, and thank you for being here today. If this message touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, sometimes the heart takes the long road, but it always finds its way back to where it belongs. Until next time, stay strong, stay hopeful, and never forget, love always circles back.